What is up, fellow benchwarmers? Welcome to Daily Fantasy Quick. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Daily Fantasy Quickie. What's this? Third to the last.
The last
Quickie of the year, of the season, fantasy season. Hopefully, in case you're still alive, there's still some players to talk about as we're recording this. I'm not sure if the games are over, but
about to be
Jaylen
over.
Hoard is wreaking havoc once again. At this point, Jaylen Hoard looks like the better option over Rudy Gobert. I mean, it's crazy, but Jaylen Hoard, as of this time, with 53 seconds left, for 27 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and 1 steal, 1 block.
That's the third game in a row.
And the good part is he shot 13 of 23, which is a great percentage.
Yes.
And did not shoot any free throw. Well, that's a good part because he's not good at free throw shooting. So, and had 1 3. So, 1 3-point shot.
27-16 after a 24-21 game.
Well, 27-17. So we got another
27-17 after a 24-21 game. And then the way it is right now, at least the last game of the Thunder, we're sure they're not playing those guys anymore. They're playing just 6 players right now, actually. So if that is the case, all 6 of those who are playing are gonna be good streamers for the last day. Kalazakis, Roby, Simpson, Xavier Simpson, Krejci, and Melvin Fraser, the guy they signed for over who's this guy? Over Olivier Sarr. Actually, Roby played only 14 minutes today. So they're
technically playing 5 guys.
5 guys. Yes, they're technically playing 5 guys. So those 5 guys, you have streaming spots. They're the streamers. Just the streamers you want.
Yeah. They have a 1-day break, right? They won't have a game tomorrow. So that means, they could literally win your fantasy season on Monday because, 5 guys playing, all the stats will be theirs.
5 guys playing, and I hope they have 2 players who had 5 fouls and 1 player who fouled out today.
Well, I think, but I think they have a couple more players who are, I guess, rostered. Theo Maledon, is still in uniform. So, technically, they just decided not to play these guys anymore. But definitely, Hoard is definitely probably one of the silly season hero.
I think he's gonna win the championship for Jeremy. Am I correct?
I think if
safe to say.
Yeah, safe to say, unless something happens in the next couple of days. Yeah, I think I got him for 2 games already. Really solid play for me. So let's look at the standings, an update on the standings.
Let's just mention some updates. LeBron is already declared out.
Yeah.
So at least that's clear. Also, the Lakers are probably not gonna play any of those players. The other side of this, Jaylen Hoard, Tucker, and Stanley Johnson played well. Malik Monk, Reeves, these guys are okay. The Lakers side, and then Luka got his 16th technical foul today. That means he's suspended for the last day. So if you have any Luka left, I guess you can drop him. You can drop him for the last day,
unless you have a sentimental feeling about Luka.
Unless it's dynasty, I guess.
Yeah.
So we can drop him already.
Just quickly. Mobley returned today.
Yes.
Scotty Barnes. Just these are rookie updates. Scotty Barnes.
That's a final update. That's my final ranking. Maybe you should give yours so that just to wrap it up. This
fantasy rankings.
Fantasy rankings not for next season. For this season, that's my 6. I think there's no question about those 6 players. Just give yours.
I'd still go Scotty. I think I'll still go Scotty.
Okay.
Less known. I mean, no one expected him to play this well, and he was more consistent throughout the season. Didn't miss too much time. He was, he had some bad stretches, but overall, I think he was the more reliable option, I guess.
Who's your second guy?
It's hard between Mobley and Cade.
Okay.
I didn't really own any Cade stock, so I think that's where the challenge is. I had one Evan Mobley, and he was okay. But Cade has really been good lately over the latter part of the season. So it's a toss-up between the two.
Okay.
I guess.
Fair enough. And I guess the Wagner, Jaylen Green, Herb Jones thing would be the next tier there.
Yeah, I think Herb Jones would be not really popular but very valuable choice among the rookies because, steals and blocks. I mean, that's the only things he contribute, but it's an elite level type of contribution. Unlike Wagner can contribute different stats across the board, but I think people valued Herb Jones a lot more than Wagner. I feel that's just my sentiment that Herb Jones is a very important piece in a lot of fantasy teams.
Again, we're talking about this season. We're not projecting into next season where they will be picked. I just ranked them for this season, and I think Wagner and Jones probably over Jaylen. Jaylen Green really came up strong this last month, this silly season, until after the All-Star break. All these is great, but the early part of the season was too poor for him to overtake these guys. But he's there. He closed the gap. It's probably sixth.
He did in an Anthony Edwards thing late this season. Not as good as the Anthony Edwards run, but close to that during this late season run. So those are the rookie updates. And just comment below who do you think is the rookie of the year. We'll wrap things up later on after the season. Streamers. Let's talk about some streamers. Trey Jones tomorrow for tomorrow. There are only 4 games, and it's crucial for streaming just because there are only 4 games, and your opponent might have one or two players, so it's your chance to hopefully you save some moves for tomorrow because it's your chance to somehow add more games to your lineup. And don't be hesitant to drop some of the named players at this point because you might just regret not dropping them and then end up them not playing on Monday because we expect a lot of players resting on Monday, especially those who are in the playoffs.
Yeah. And we'll talk about them later, any update on the standings. But for tomorrow, the streamers, 8 teams will play. Warriors first, Pelicans are teams that I'm considering. Spurs resting all their starters, as we talked about in our courtside DFS. They're resting all their starters. Warriors resting Clay. Pelicans, Brandon Ingram questionable. So those are the players that might rest tomorrow. That's why our streamers reflect that. The Spurs, the new starting 5, Trey Jones, Primo, Josh Richardson, Keita Bates, Diop, and Zach Collins, they're all going to be good streamers for tomorrow. And then the Warriors, you know the drill, who to add when Clay is out.
Basically. When Clay is out, players like Jonathan Kuminga for scoring, right? Damian Lee, Gary Payton, is it junior or the second? Gary Payton the second.
Yeah.
For steals and some scoring as well. So those are the guys that you could roster. There are in those few games, pretty much all of them are no bearing already. I guess the only game that is the first game. I think it involves Philadelphia.
Yeah. I'm not too sure about this, but if the Sixers are 49 and 31, Raptors are 48 and 33. If somehow the Raptors at the 5th spot get to 49 and the Sixers lose their last 2, the Raptors get the 4th spot and the home court advantage. But I don't expect the Sixers to lose to the Pacers though. So if the Sixers win tomorrow, they've basically clinched the 4th spot. They lose a tiebreaker versus Celtics. They lose a tiebreaker versus the Nets at the Bucks. In a 3-way tie, they also lose. So they just need to win tomorrow, and they're basically set at 4, and they'll avoid the Nets. Yeah. That's what they want, I think. That's what they want.
That's what I think a lot of teams want, except the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, and you know,
if Milwaukee Bucks asking for it.
Yeah, if the Sixers are 4th, they also get Miami and possibly in the next round, and I think Miami is the weakest among the top 4. Sorry to Naveen, I know he's a fan of Miami, but they're the easier opponent for me.
I think the top 4, I think Boston is the easier one.
I think it's Miami. I
mean, Robert Williams.
I think Robert Williams, by the time the East semis come already, I think he should be ready by that time. So I still think it's Miami, given all their problems right now and how they're playing. I think still it's Miami, and it's better for the Sixers to get to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals.
So yeah, the only team with playing for something here is Philadelphia for tomorrow's slate. So they'll probably play
Warriors.
And the Warriors, yeah. But the Warriors pretty much at this point, without Steph and resting Clay, that they're not really as attached to that 3rd seed. Yeah, they're not as attached to that 3rd seed. Unlike Philadelphia, they probably would want to play. Plus, it's MVP season for Joel Embiid. So
they should care. If they get the Suns in the semis, they'll lose. Yeah. Just call it right now. They lose. They lose to the Suns. So they better hope they'll stay at 3, so that
Yeah, but
play them in the conference finals.
But who are they against? They're going to go up against San Antonio, who's also going to rest all their guys. So it's pretty much they're better. I guess they're a better team without all those stars.
I guess
just put it at that.
They get the Pelicans after that, another team with nothing to play for. So I guess they're not worried. I mean, we can win. We can win with a little effort. Yeah.
Yeah. So other streamers that you might want to consider. Well, we talked about Zach Collins, right? We talked about Bates, the Spurs guys. Some of the guys from New Orleans, in case the
Ingram.
Top guys are out or they play limited minutes. Jose Alvarado, Zach Collins, Willie Hernan Gomez could be relevant fantasy ads here. Isaiah Hartenstein of the Clippers could be another player who can help you win, especially if you need the stocks. Pretty much that's it for tomorrow's list. Let's talk about quickly
the
standings. Yeah, just quick update on the standings, where everyone is at this point. So yeah, looking at the standings, Miami's done. Milwaukee, I think, has clinched that number 2.
No, they haven't, because the Celtics.
They need another win.
Yes, the Celtics have the tiebreaker over the Bucks. So it will boil down to the last day for the Bucks and the. So
that's good news for Giannis owners, in case you are still playing. He would most likely still play. The
Bucks might not care about the 2nd seed, but they should care about home court advantage.
Yeah,
I mean, in the semis, if they play the Celtics, so that's important, I think.
Yeah, so they have something to play for. Philly, like we said, has something to play for still. Toronto, they need to win as well, but their fate depends on Philadelphia, right?
Yes, mathematically they can still reach Philadelphia, but they themselves know Philadelphia is not gonna lose to Indiana or on their last day. I don't think that's gonna happen. So they basically have nothing to play for. They know that. That's why they rested Fred VanVleet again today, and I expect Fred VanVleet to rest again the last day. He's not gonna play that game.
I've dropped VanVleet.
VanVleet, yes, me too. I've dropped in my Roto League. I've dropped him early on.
Yeah. Chicago is pretty much set there.
Yeah.
They're the 6th seed. Now this will boil down to the last day, I guess. Brooklyn, Cleveland, Atlanta, and Charlotte. All teams still in contention for that 7th seed, 7th and 8th seed. So yeah, they will have something to play for on Monday. So most likely all their guys will be
okay. They have something to play for. Brooklyn has Indiana on the last day. Again, I don't think Indiana's gonna win. I think Brooklyn has clinched the 7th spot. With that, with the win today versus the Cavs, they have clinched the 7th spot. And I think the Hawks might get the 8th spot because the Hawks have the Rockets in their last game, and the Cavs have the Bucks. So if they get tied, they're tied, the Hawks have the tiebreaker over the Cavs.
Yeah.
So that's something. So we may 100% sure that Cavs Bucks game on the last day. If you have any players in those games, they're gonna be going all out. Charlotte, meanwhile, they don't have the tiebreaker really. They're against the Wizards though, so they probably hope that somehow the Hawks lose to the Rockets.
Well, they hope that everyone loses.
Yeah,
everyone above them loses.
Right? I don't think that's happening. If the Pacers beat both the Sixers and the Nets,
watch out for them next year. Watch out for them.
I'm not only picking Kevin Love, and whoever Jeremy wants me to pick next year, one player he wants me to pick. It's not gonna happen.
All right. Moving on to the West. So Phoenix is done. I don't see them playing Chris Paul or Devin Booker or Ayton in the next game. I highly doubt it that they will play those guys. Memphis, their players are not out for tomorrow, so they might, play them tomorrow and rest them on Mondays. So just something to watch out for. We talked about Golden State a while ago. Dallas, Luka, like we said, is out on the last game. So I'm not even sure they're going to play the rest of the guys. Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Who else?
They will. I think they will. I believe they will. I think they'll play them. They'll try to get to the 3rd seed. Unlike the Warriors, they don't want the Suns and they are scared of them. They go for it.
Utah and Denver still battling. Utah lost again today, so they might, want to. I guess it's more of a matchup thing. Who do they want to match up against?
Yes.
In the playoffs. So yeah, that's the only thing they're fighting for, and then the rest of the guys, nothing to play for really. So expect a lot of rest for these teams in the last day. So we're just warning you about the last day because you might feel good about having players like Karl Anthony Towns and might end up not playing at all. We don't know, right? So we're just anticipating, given that it's the last playing day and these guys have something to play for after that last playing day. They'll still play the play-in tournament, so 1 day of rest. And besides, some of these guys haven't really rested a lot during the season. Right? Like I'm talking about Towns, I'm talking about some of the New Orleans guys, some of the Dallas guys, right? Memphis and Phoenix. Booker haven't really rested a lot, for example, so they might not really play them. So yeah, just be wary of those. And if you have moves, you might want to, and your matchups are really close, you might want to save them up for the last day because you might have really good roster, but half of them might not be playing. And you would want to use those moves for some of the pickups that you will get, right? Just to fill in those slots. And tomorrow,
the OKC guys are the safer ones at this point right now.
OKC, because they just play 5 players or 6.
Yes. I mean, just to add to what you mentioned, the Wolves. Yes, if they play Towns and those other guys, I'll be very surprised. Yeah. They already have a schedule for their game versus the Clippers, so it's there. I mean, it's already a given. It's sure. Why would you play them in a non-bearing game? That's impossible for them to play those guys. So the Clippers, the Wolves, definitely not going to play the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Pelicans. All of these guys will rest their players. So yes, you might have only 2 or 3 players who will actually play.
Yeah, right.
Roster. I mean, that's possible.
Whoever if you felt good about your players early in the season, this is the time where you won't feel good about them especially if you have a close matchup. I mean, this week alone, I don't think the top players really played really well enough for you to be able to say that it was worth holding on to them at this point.
And again, we said don't play until week 24, but we're here for you if you decided to do that. So here we are, still trying to help.
Yeah. So players like Jaylen Hoard and Tucker, if they're still available, players like Hoard, if they're still available, just in case someone dropped them. Players like Terry Taylor of the Indiana Pacers, these guys will play for sure. And Indiana has a back-to-back, so you might want to pick them up for tomorrow. They could have been dropped because of the 3-day break. So these guys, don't be hesitant to pick them up because they've been performing even before today. So, and we're not afraid that, they're going to be rested. So these are the guys to target. And I think if you have, you might want to wait until Monday morning to see who plays or who doesn't. But yeah, I expect a lot of teams not playing or players not playing. Right? So that's it for the weekend Saturday edition of our daily fantasy cookie. And yeah, have a good weekend, guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.